Europe's Strongest Man is just 2 weeks away, and we have one of the hottest lineups we've seen in many years. (2025) Europe's Strongest Man. We have the last 4 champions plus Mateusz Kiliszkowski. This is a hell of a line, plus a load of other great athletes as well, we should add. But to have 4 previous champions in there, we haven't seen that in a long time.
I think this is probably the best Europe sign-up we've seen since Thor stopped doing it, if I'm honest. Certainly since COVID anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the whole podium from last year. Yeah. We've got returning champions. And Mateusz, the last 2 competitions that he did, he was second and first. Yeah. He's a very good athlete. He's had injuries in the past, but he's always going to be a threat in a competition. We'll go through the events in a minute, but it's exciting to see him back at Giants Life. Is it 6 years since we've seen him?
Yeah, 6 years. 2019 was the last time, but his training is looking very good, very good. He's got a few more heavy sessions to get through, but we all need to pray for Mateusz's safety.
Well, very quickly, I'm going to go through the lineup because it is a fantastic lineup. We'll start off with the current champion, not just one-time champion, 2-time champion, and he is the newly crowned Britain's Strongest Man. Luke Stoltman is back in action at Giants Live. As we said at the start there, Mateusz Kiliszkowski making his return to Giants Live after 6 years. I think he won the competition he did in 6 years.
Yeah, it was the World Tour final. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was.
It was, yeah. A man who's won Europe's Strongest Man and multiple Giants Live competitions, Alexei Novikov, is returning to Leeds for Europe's Strongest Man.
And the World's Strongest Man.
True. Another former champion in Pavlo Kordiaka. He took the title 2 years ago. Can we see him back on the podium this year? A man that has been so close a number of times now, no closer than last year where I think it was tied with, it was like a photo finish with Luke Stoltman on the stones for the title. Ivers Schmaukstelis, a man that's won many, many titles. He's been training hard for this year's competition. And another former champion, Luke Richardson. Luke Richardson looked really good last year. He did Britain's Strongest Man earlier this year and things didn't go his way. He wants to brush that aside and show that he is one of the top guys in the world. Next up with the Irishman, Paro Dwyer. We've not seen Par compete in a while. He is hungry for this competition. Done well at Europe's before. He'll want to be in top shape for this one. The original Team Liz member, Rauno Hainler, he is back at Europe's Strongest Man. He's looking pretty good in training.
Yeah, Rauno looks great. But, well, we'll go into it in more detail in a bit. I think Rauno is strong enough. It's just, is he fit enough?
He's been sending me conditioning videos that he's been doing. He's been working hard. Another man I'm really looking forward to seeing is Andre Foitu. This man has been exciting the last few years. We've seen him in competition. One of the youngest athletes out there at this level. His training recently has looked superb. Cannot wait to see him back at Europe's. We have the return of Nick Cambi. He did well at this competition last year, made it to World's Strongest Man. He is the Italian living in America, but yeah, he's an athlete that when he prepares well does very good. So I'm looking forward to seeing him at Europe's as well. And then we have the 2 up-and-coming English athletes, Paddy Haynes and Andrew Flynn. Both did really well at Britain's Strongest Man, both very deserving of this competition. Andy Flynn has qualified for World's Strongest Man, and Paddy will be wanting to put himself at Worlds as well. So be interesting to see how those guys do. Andrew Flynn did really well in his Giants Live, or big Giants Live debut at the Strongman Classic last year. Really surprised people. This time he's had time to prep. So yeah, it's going to be fun to watch this one. Now, a much higher standard for some of those young British guys to be going up against. We must...
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, Britain's Strongest Man is a tough competition, but this is a level up from that, on top of it all.
I think so. And probably, like you said at the start, one of the toughest lineups, one of the strongest lineups we've seen in a long time at Europe's.
Especially if everyone comes in shape. Like, there's so many question marks, though. It's been such a long time since we've seen Alexei Novikov in shape. I really want to see it here. Pavlo Kordiaka also, he's had some epic performances. He's got some great events that he could do very well. Mateusz on his day, they don't call him the Terminator for nothing. Luke Stoltman was a man on a mission at Britain's Strongest Man. There's a lot to unwrap here.
Luke Richardson as well.
Of course, great. Yeah, and he's going to want to, after Brits, how that went.
He's definitely going to want to prove he's back straight in the business. Anyway, let's take a look at the events. It's starting off with the carry and drag.
Yeah, so there's been a bit of a change to this, because I was under the impression that it was the anchor carry, which they clip onto the chain and then drag back. But apparently they're actually going to be carrying an anvil there and then dragging the chain and anchor back.
Cool. So a little bit different to we've seen in the past. Now we've got a lot of fast, fit athletes in this competition. The young English athletes, Andrew Flynn and Paddy Haynes, both very, very quick when it comes to medleys. Pavlo Kordiaka is rapid at these type of things. I know Kilishkovsky's really good.
Genuinely,
Dwyer's fast.
Everyone on this list is fast. Everyone. Even Rauno.
Even Rauno.
Like, he'll die afterwards, but even Rauno is fast. Everyone on here is fast.
Well, when you said let's do a Europe's Strongest Man prediction, very quickly I was like, this is a hard one.
I know. I don't know. I don't have a prediction, but I'm hoping that we'll come up with one through this process.
If you watch these videos, always you'll hear us talking about consistency, and consistency is going to be very, very important in this competition. I really don't think you can get away with coming last in an event and then trying to win the other 4 events.
Maybe not. No, I think I know what you're getting at. But let's cross that bridge when we get to it.
The interesting thing is there's a few guys that you could put into that kind of bracket with this competition. Anyway, second event is the overhead medley. Now this is an interesting one. There's 4 implements.
Yeah.
Each implement has to be lifted twice.
Yeah, so it is interesting. Now the implements, as I know them to be when they were sent out originally, are a dumbbell that's like 90 kilos, and then a 150 kilo safe lift, log lift, and an axle. But like you say, doing it twice, 8 reps in a medley is a lot.
It is.
I think people have been like, oh, that's quite light, but I wouldn't be surprised if not everyone even finishes this.
We've seen that before. I mean, to get 8 reps on any implement at 150 kilos is good going.
Yeah.
So I don't think we'll see everyone finish this by any means. There will be athletes that do finish it, and it's going to be interesting to watch the techniques used to be fast and efficient through the different implements. You hear me talking about how important it is to have tactics going into each implement, and that's going to be something that's fun to watch. I just watched a recent video of Luke Stoltman doing a 200 kilo yoke press. It's very similar to a safe lift. Yeah. He's not going to need to lift that much. No. It's going to be more about how quick they transition through the implements. So, Kilishkovsky's awesome at this. Luke Stoltman is awesome at this. Alexei's very good overhead. Yeah. Pavlo is very, very good overhead as well. I think, Nick Camby's good overhead as well. Very technical.
Great,
So, and Andre Foitu, how can I forget him?
Yeah.
Andre Foitu, the junior record holder when it comes to the log. How is he on the other implements as well? We know he's super strong. So this is going to be a fun one to watch. Event 3, the deadlift. I believe it's the slightly lighter deadlift that they have at Giants.
It's the blobs that they're doing.
Blobs, but you like to affectionately call them the blobs.
As opposed to the wheels. So it's 350 kilo axle deadlift reps.
Yes, and we've seen lots of these athletes do this before. This is not the strongest group of deadlifters.
No, it's not. No, I think Rauno is an absolute standout here in terms of best deadlifter.
I would say Alexei Novikov in shape is very good at deadlifting.
Very, very good, and could sort of ebb out about 8, I think he's done here.
Yep.
But I think the problem for Rauno is going to be, if he has to go out quite early, then he's going to need to go flat out on the deadlift.
He's going to want to be in a good position.
Yeah, he's going to want to put himself in a safe position and not rely on that.
He has done more on this bar than anyone else in this lineup.
He has, yeah.
Paddy Haynes is very good at deadlifting for reps, as is Luke Richardson. But again, when you look at some of the big names, Pavlo Kordiaka, Kilishkovsky, Luke Stoltman, none of them are monster deadlifters.
No, they're not. And this could be where things really get mixed up. I mean, Andre Foitu's deadlifting in training is looking very, very strong. So we could see an upset on the deadlift, definitely.
And then we have the shield carry.
Yeah.
Not seen the shield for a while.
No, it's been a little while. We had it at Europe's a few years ago. It pops up more in Britain's, I feel.
Yes, it does.
But yeah, the shield carry is 200 kilos. It's the Giants Live Shields. And yeah, it's going to be as far as possible in, I think, 60 seconds, might be 75.
Yeah, now, if you've watched Giants Live competitions, they are very fast-paced, and we do see athletes start to suffer with these type of events because of the fast pace, particularly after as well, when you've got to go straight out there, carry this shield as fast as you can, and then suddenly you're out there for the next event. This is where making sure in your training, your conditioning has been focused on becomes important. But we have some very fast, fit athletes. We mentioned, obviously, on the carry and drag, Pavlo Kordiaka, Alexei Novikov, Kilishkovsky, Luke Stoltman is good at this, Luke Richardson is good at this, Pyro Dwyer, very good at this. So I should imagine Andy Flynn and Paddy Haynes will be good at this.
You would expect. I'm sure Nick Camby also.
Yeah, this is going to be, an event that it's quite hard to predict.
Very hard to predict.
It's going to be very important to go later, so you've got the targets to beat.
God, yes.
The whole show is a tough one. I've got to say, I'm excited for it because you just really don't know what's going to happen.
I think Mateusz will win the Shield Cup.
Really?
Yeah.
Going to put it out there already.
I've seen a training video.
Pavlo's awesome at these
Pavlo is awesome. He is. He's better at the Conans than he is at the Shield.
He is.
But I think Mateusz could win it. He won the Husafell quite comfortably in the Magnuson Classic, which is much more awkward, isn't it?
It is a bit more awkward, yeah, a little bit harder to hold. Yeah. But I wouldn't want to put money on someone taking the win.
I'd put a tenner on it.
Yeah, you know? A little bit of money. I wouldn't be putting
I'll put my house on
my rent on it or something like that. But I think we could see some very good distances.
I think so too. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a new
record. I know Giants Live have their indoor record. They don't mention the outdoor record, which is held by Thor Bjornsson.
Oh.
But there is the indoor record as well. So I think we will see at least one record broken.
Okay, maybe both.
And then we're finishing with the Atlas Stones. Heavy set up to 200 kilos. We've seen it a number of times. It's much better now that they've moved it up to the 200.
Oh, God.
Before that, we were getting like sprint finishes. Now we're having, finishing this set is still an achievement at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
And hopefully we see an epic battle between these athletes on the stones. Lots of good stone lifters once again in this lineup.
Almost everyone here is a great stone lifter. It's so hard to call. Luke Stoltman's really good. Luke Richardson's really good. Not the most consistent results for our Ukrainian athletes.
No.
Mateusz looking very good. I saw him one motion, a 195 kilo stone in training the other day. It's going to be, I can think of probably 3 or 4 or 5 men that could win this competition. So this is the reality. A podium
for this competition is going to be so hard to get right.
And there's so much at stake here also, because let's not forget, we still have some qualifying spots left for World's Strongest Man. And out of these guys in this lineup, Ivers, Parr, Rauno, Andre, Nick Camby and Paddy Haynes have not qualified yet. So they're going to be fighting very hard for a spot.
Yeah, I can see potentially 2 athletes from this lineup getting invited to Worlds.
Yeah.
That haven't already been invited.
Yeah, I think 3 will be the maximum.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, if you take 3, you've almost got everyone, but that's going to be a battle.
It's going to be a huge battle.
And the great thing with that is even if the competition is over in terms of the top 3, you've still got things to fight for.
Yeah.
Because I can't see 3 of the top athletes, or 3 of the athletes that have already qualified for Worlds not being on the podium.
No.
I mean, I have to. I think logically you've got to say Luke Stoltman, Mateusz Kieliszkowski, Alexei Novikov, Pavlo Kordiaka,
Pavlo,
and Luke Richardson have to be the.
I don't know. I put Andre Foytu in there too.
I don't want to say favourites, but you kind of have to see them as a threat. All 5 of them. Ivers has been on the podium at this competition multiple times.
Yeah.
Andre getting better all the time. At his age, he's improving fast.
He's improving very fast.
He can make bigger jumps than maybe some of the older guys can, and we've not seen him compete for a while.
No, and he's a real static beast, but he can move as well. I don't even know what to do. All right. I think the winner will be... Mateusz needs to not zero the deadlift. He won't zero it. He needs to get some points on the deadlift.
Who can he beat realistically on the deadlift? And the thing is, we've seen competitions where athletes get injured, athletes pull out, so there's people you can suddenly start jumping above. But
of course.
On paper, who's he got a chance of beating? Maybe Kordiaka, maybe Luke Stoltman. He doesn't beat Alexei Novikov on the deadlift. He doesn't beat Rauno. I don't think he beats Parr on the deadlift.
Andy Flynn's deadlift.
Not bad. I don't think he beats Paddy Haynes on the deadlift.
No, definitely doesn't beat Rauno.
There's names in there that maybe open up even if he can tie with people.
Yeah, that would be something. To stop other people getting further ahead from him.
I don't actually think we've seen Luke or Pavlo do more than 3 reps on this deadlift.
Right, so we need 3 solid reps from Mateusz Kieliszkowski. We all need
but then we could say the same thing with Pavlo. Pavlo's hit a PB in the training recently, and he's got great events. Yeah. If he can damage control, he's won Europe's before with a deadlift in there.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Pavlo win this, honestly, if he comes in shape.
Well, you look at these events; they are some of his best events.
Yeah, I'm feeling very reserved about Alexei just because it's such a long time since we've seen him.
I don't want to
be the true Alexei.
I kind of want to just be quiet about Alexei and let him come in and surprise everyone.
I hope that's what happens. I hope he's in good shape for this. But man, I do not feel comfortable putting together a top 3. I
really can't.
I just don't.
I really can't. You go with your heart on this one. So I know you'll go with Kieliszkowski because him and Rauno. They're two of your favourites.
They're my
They're
children.
your boys.
My boys. I don't know what to do.
Do you know what's nice for me? I don't have any athletes in this line.
Yeah, it is
So
nice.
I can just go to Europe and just enjoy the bloodbath that it's going to be.
Well, I do have athletes, so it's very stressful for me. Let's believe. Let's have Mateusz winning. And that's it. End of show. Everyone else tired. I don't know. Luke Richardson.
I really hope we see Luke Richardson put in a good performance.
Yeah. I think Luke Stoltman will be on the podium.
Luke has looked great.
And he's got good events
really
here.
strong.
I mean, the only really bad event, I guess, is the deadlift. But like you say, this isn't the strongest lineup of deadlifters, so it's not that painful.
There's a lot of guys that may beat each other on the deadlift. There's not like a guarantee.
Let's put Pavlo Cordiaca on the podium also.
Right.
Yeah.
My podium, in no particular order, is going to be Kinishkovsky, Luke Richardson, and Luke Stoltman.
Fair. I think the guys that will qualify will probably be Andre Foytu and Ivers.
Interesting.
The two highest placing that haven't. If it's two.
Do you know what? I'm not convinced with Ivers at the moment. And I love Ivers.
No, but he's good at Europe.
He is good at
There's something about Europe. He's good in leads. Maybe it's...
He's been on the podium, I think, the last 2 years.
Yeah. He nearly won it last year.
He was a fraction away.
Yeah.
But I
just don't know. Rauno then.
I'd love to see Rauno get there.
I want Rauno.
If Rauno's fitness is okay, he's got a chance.
Yeah.
I think Paddy Haynes can do well.
Carry
and drag, deadlift, shield carry, Atlas stones, 4 of his best events.
He has some
overhead
really
medley is the problem.
Yeah, that's going to be painful. I think that with Paddy, is it just? I just don't know how the level's going to suit him because he came 4th at Britain's, and then we're going up a level. I mean, I've seen people putting him on the podium. I think if you're not on the podium at Britain's, you're probably not on the podium.
And I'd normally agree with you, but these events suit him.
But he had good events at Britain's as well.
I'd say these are better. But he's the problem for someone like Paddy is going to need to start well.
And it's an overhead.
And that's
start,
no, it's carry and drag stuff.
Oh, okay. So
he could start well with
then.
that.
Yeah.
And Andrew Flynn, last time we saw him, he surprised us.
Yeah, it's true.
This is one of the hardest ones to predict. But I'm going to
say that at every show.
This one really is
harder.
Kilishkovsky, Luke Stoltman, Luke Richardson. That is my top 3.
All right, good for you.
That was hard.
Yeah, it's painful.
I hope you guys
to watch.
can do a better job than we did on this one. Let us know in the comments below, who do you think is going to be on the podium? Who do you think is going to win? Who do you think can win the events? Are you coming to watch? Let us know in the comments below if you're going to be there. We will be there. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Tickets still available?
Yeah. I will post a link in the video description.
And if you cannot get there, you can watch on Official Strongman. Guys, Europe is going to be a bloodbath. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, share and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time.